carefully checking the sides. I like being out a little further because then it's like, if we go to the edges, we're not completely out of the, like it's not half of a face in the shot. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
2.
Perfect.
Oh man. Everybody wants me to work for them, and I don't want to work for anybody but myself.
I get that.
And you.
I'm a pretty nice boss.
The most understanding I've ever had.
Well.
I can't see that. I don't need to. I can scoot in.
I can't see that. Do I need to change my text size?
No, that's
I
too
can do
embarrassing.
a screenshot and a zoom.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm too embarrassed to make you change anything. I'll just be uncomfortable.
I relate.
I did notice a big silver hair this morning while I was
nice.
brushing my hair. I'm slowly becoming McGonagall.
Why is it always so hard to get started? Even my breaths are nervous.
Baby does not know why anything is happening. He sure is. He looked
doesn't
away.
care.
All
Okay.
right.
Hey, Maren, it's a little dark in here. Help me out?
Oh, yeah, sure, Emily. Just a sec. Lumos.
Ah, that's better. Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to
Remember Harry Potter? We're just hanging out in the Hufflepuff common room on this cozy couch, eating some snacks, talking all about that Gryffindor kid, Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh, everyone is making such a big deal about him. So, we have asked some of the house elves from the kitchen to help us keep an eye on him and tell us everything that they find out.
That's right. We've been collecting so many stories about him and his friends that we wanted to share it with you.
Just a reminder, if you are a first year at Hogwarts, we're discussing all aspects of the Harry Potter series from 2 longtime Hufflepuff fans' perspectives. This means we're focusing on the relationships.
And the snacks.
Yes, of course, the snacks.
Oh, I'm getting an owl. Well, I have a really good paper noise. Oh, it looks like Professor Sprout needs us in the greenhouse.
All right, guys, well, it looks like it's time for us to go, but stick around to listen to this week's episode, and we have lots to tell you about. See you later.
Bye. I didn't say greenhouse 1.
That's okay.
Does that bother you?
No.
Okay.
Look at our buys. It's the biggest I've ever been. All right.
I
feel
can
like
tell
that's
yours
good.
is on a higher register than mine, too. That was cool.
Okay.
That was cute.
Perfect.
Great job.
Save it.
Save it.
Save it.
I can hear my kids playing the piano.
Me too.
And
Guitar
literally, right before I came downstairs, I said, will you guys please be quiet while we're recording? They're plunking out that song from Descendants.
even.
I never thought I'd meet a girl who I'd love like you. Or however it goes. I don't know how it goes.
Couldn't tell you a single song from Descendants.
I like Descendants. Do you know what you're Emily, but do you
Yep.
know what Ari and I found out the other day?
I do, but tell me again.
You do?
You already told me.
That, what's his face?
What's his face?
No,
you didn't
I'm
tell
going
me
to tell
that.
you something different. I'll tell you
Okay.
both things.
Okay.
First thing is, so we were going on a walk, and Ari had just spent like 2 hours on YouTube learning about Descendants and watching interviews and watching rehearsals and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like on our walk and everything's fine. And we get about like halfway to where we're going. And all of a sudden she gets very quiet. And she kind of gets off of her bike and she just starts like standing there staring at the ground.
Having a moment.
And both of us are like, what happened? What's going on? What's wrong? Why are you sad? Why are you stopped? What's wrong? Can we help you? You know, because that's the kind of parents we are. And she's just like, no, I'm fine. And we're like, you're not fine. What is going on? Why won't you tell us? Like, you can tell me anything. I'm your mother. You know, and finally we get down to the church where there's a huge parking lot and they're riding their bikes around, and she comes and sits down next to me and she's like, I think I can tell you now. And I'm like, what? What is right? She's like, Carlos from Descendants. And then she just like wouldn't tell me. And I go, what, did he die? And she was like,
oh no.
That kid really died in real life.
Oh no.
Yes.
Sad.
Super sad. So I looked it up online and I was like, oh my gosh, he died. He really, really died in real life last year. He had epilepsy and he died of a seizure. And so then I had to have a whole conversation with Ari about how people die. And epilepsy, sometimes people can die from it. It was awful. It was terrible. So then, anyway, that's the sad story.
Yes.
But then, cool story, we watched Descendants then, because we always watch Descendants nowadays. And I was looking at the credits, and it was like, Anna Cathcart?
I know her.
I know her. I met her when we did our thing with Stephanie Meyer. And so I looked her up, and she plays Dizzy in The Descendants, which I've watched 25 times. I didn't realize it was her. And I wish I had known it was her when I met her, because I would have told her that I love her in that movie. I love her in those movies. I think she's great. She's hilarious and so cute.
Yep.
Anyway, it was cool.
Descendants news over.
That was a little bit of a warm-up.
Yeah.
I talked and talked and talked, like always. Yeah, I'll just do the whole page. No, most of the page. You guys don't care. All right. The storm raged more and more ferociously as the night went on. Harry couldn't sleep. He shivered and turned over, trying to get comfortable, his stomach rumbling with hunger. Dudley's snores were drowned by the low rolls of thunder that started near midnight. The lighted dial of Dudley's watch, which was dangling over the edge of the sofa on his fat wrist, told Harry he'd be 11 in 10 minutes' time. He lay and watched his birthday tick nearer, wondering if the Dursleys would remember at all, wondering where the letter writer was now. 5 minutes to go. Harry heard something creak outside. He hoped the roof wasn't going to fall in, although he might be warmer if it did. 4 minutes to go. Maybe the house in Privet Drive would be so full of letters when they got back that he'd be able to steal one somehow. 3 minutes to go. Was that the sea slapping hard on the rock like that? And 2 minutes to go. What was that funny crunching noise? Was the rock crumbling into the sea? 1 minute to go and he'd be 11. 30 seconds. 20. 10. 9. Maybe he'd wake Dudley up just to annoy him. 3, 2, 1. Boom! The whole shack shivered and Harry sat bolt upright, staring at the door. Someone was outside, knocking to come in.
Cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Messed up in the middle there.
That's alright, don't we all?
No biggie. Couldn't breathe halfway through.
I get that.
Forgot how.
You can't inhale when you're talking.
Not possibly, or exhale.
Nope, neither. It is only speech and nothing else allowed.
Good grief. Well, hello there.
Oh my goodness, hi.
My name is Maren.
My name is Emily.
And we are
Remember Harry Potter.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome back. This week we're talking about Chapter 3 of Sorcerer's Stone.
The Letters from No One.
Oh my heavens.
And we're like... Oh, the cat.
Oh, baby.
He's gonna get up there no matter what. The back legs just lunging forward.
Just the look of like desperation on his face as he clawed in.
Please, Emily.
I need to join you.
What a good boy. I'm
just gonna take a quick pic here because it's cute. Oops.
Oh man.
Baby.
Baby. Oh, so
What
baby.
a cat.
All right. So this is chapter 3. Let's just quickly remind everybody what chapter 2 was about. No, you
Ah,
don't.
yes. Chapter 2 was all about Dudley's birthday at the zoo, and Harry gets his very first best friend, who immediately decides to flee the country, so that's kind of a bummer. And,
He gets locked in his cupboard.
yep, no dinner for Harry.
Chapter 3 from the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So Harry's one and only friend, the snake, caused quite a kerfuffle. Harry's in big trouble. Lucky though, he will be able to go to a different school next year, so he doesn't have to go to school with Wadley and all of his stupid buddies. So it's like morning, and the mail gets there, and Uncle Vernon is like, go get the mail, Harry. And Harry's like, ugh. So he goes and he gets it. But there's like a letter for him. And so he goes in. He like hands the letters to Vernon. And then he's like trying to open his letter. And of course they're like, you can't have a letter. And they take it back from him. And the whole entire chapter is just him getting letters and not able to open them and fighting to get his freaking letters.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. Does that, I mean, as far as I can remember, that's all that happens.
That's all that happens.
He just like gets letters and isn't able to open them. It's so annoying, but so funny. Like, who at Hogwarts, is it McGonagall doing this?
It
so
must be.
funny.
Or maybe they just have like a system in place for unreceived letters. They're like, okay, day 1,
Just keep
1
going.
letter. Day 2, 2 letters. Day 3, 10 letters. Day 4, 5 million letters.
Also, make sure that you throw in and be super cheeky about where the kid lives in the house.
Totally. I
So
love the like
funny.
slight shade thrown
I
on
died.
these letters.
I laughed so hard. So that's what happens.
That is what happens. So
Okay, cool.
let's
So let's get into
talk
it.
more about it.
Yeah, dude.
So it's already summer when Harry is finally allowed out of his cupboard.
Yeah.
So that's cool and fun and fine.
I mean, he's been in there for weeks and weeks. It's so miserable. These people are terrible to him. He finally gets out, but he's like, ugh, I can't, like, stay around the house because Dudley and all of his a-hole friends will just beat me up. So he's just, like, going around, wandering around the neighborhood all the time, all alone, because he doesn't have any friends.
Mm-hmm.
And his family sucks.
Pretty much. But like you said, Harry's very excited for summer to end because it'll be the very first time in his whole life where he finally doesn't have to go to school with Dudley. And so maybe things will turn up. You never know. Public school's fine.
Right. It's great.
Public school is a great place for kids with
Kids
problems.
thrive in public school.
Oh no, poor Harry.
He's so funny too, though, because Dudley's like, you know what they do at school? They put your head in the toilet and blah, 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 blah. Do you want to go practice? And then Harry's like, I don't know if you'd like it very much or something. It's
I don't think that the
good.
toilets had anything as nasty as your head in it, Dudley. I love sassy Harry.
I love it so much.
While Dudley and Petunia go out to buy Dudley's uniform for school, Harry gets to spend the whole day with Mrs. Fig, and it's not as horrible this time because her leg is still broken. So he just gets to, like, hang out the whole time and eat some, like, old gross chocolate cake. Which, why does everyone in Harry's life who cares about him feed him gross food? Mrs. Fig and Hagrid have that in common.
Well, I talk about this when Hagrid shows up in a couple chapters.
Yeah.
But I think don't get mad at me because I don't know. I'm trying to learn, but I think it might be a British thing.
Oh.
Where it's like, here, have this old cookie that's been sitting on my table for a couple weeks.
They just love a stale pastry.
I don't know.
Really cool.
Do you hate that the Dursleys are so proud of their large asshole for being the biggest bully at his new school?
Ugh.
I mean, it's just like layer upon layer. They don't get any better ever. Like, and the more of an asshole Dudley is, the more proud they are. The more he like hits people with his stick, even them. Like, he's hitting his dad with the stick, and his dad is like, "Oh, ho, ho, that's how you do it."
Yeah.
It's so gross.
No, it's horrible because They all get home that night. Dudley does a fashion show of his new disgusting-looking uniform, which, complete with weapon, because it's good training for later in life.
Yeah. This is a... I was going to say this is an all-boys school, but I think it's an all-white boys school.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, it's an all-white boys school.
This is the law enforcement training academy, as far as I can tell.
Emily.
Heaven.
So then the next morning, Petunia is soaking clothes because she's such a good guardian and caretaker. She's dyeing his clothes so that they can be uniform appropriate for his new high school. But he's so funny because he goes, I didn't realize it had to be so wet.
Yeah, so Petunia has gone through Dudley's closet and picked out every pale item of clothing that could potentially be dyed gray, which is the color of the uniforms for Harry's school. And so they're all floating in the sink, and Harry's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm simply making you your school uniform. And Harry's like, no.
Didn't realize it had to be so wet. And then, of course, she's so dumb that she doesn't get it. But I was wondering...
Don't be stupid, Harry.
Has Harry always been a smartass?
I hope so.
Or is this new behavior because he's, like, getting older and he's sick of it? Because it's so funny.
It's so funny.
This is twice in one chapter, in the first, 3 pages of this chapter, that he's a complete smartass to these people.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, you're dumb, because they don't get it.
Yep.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
He's honed it. I wish that he used it more. I mean, he does a little bit, but I want more of Harry just being so funny like
Absolutely.
that. So then the mail gets there.
The mail comes in. Vernon tells Dudley to get it. Dudley tells Harry to get it. Harry tells Dudley to get it. Vernon tells Dudley to hit Harry with his stick. So Harry goes and gets the mail.
Classic.
I don't understand why Vernon even asked Dudley in the first place. Like, what a weird request. You know your lazy AF son is not going to go get the mail for you.
Was it just to torture Harry? Because I was like, all right, the mail's here. Let's make Harry go get it. Vernon actually tells Dudley to poke little Harry with his stick when Harry hilariously says to make Dudley go get the mail. So Harry's like, no, make Dudley do it. And Vernon's like, poke your cousin. Like, what is going on in this house?
Oh my gosh. Everyone's nuts. Everyone's literally
It's completely nutty all the time when all of them are together. I really enjoy it. It's so funny.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So Harry walks down the hall. He finds the pile of mail, which includes 1 bill, 1 postcard, and 1 letter. To whom but Harry himself.
I know, and he's never had a letter at the Dursleys, and he said it made his heart twang like a giant elastic band.
I know that sound and feeling.
That's so sweet.
Harry, he's never even
you
gotten...
had to switch to the computer.
Yeah, this is when I started doing computer notes.
Gotcha.
Harry has never even gotten a mean letter from the library because he doesn't even own his very own library card.
But he's in such shock to get the mail that he doesn't even think about how these people will react to it. He just walks in and he's like, ugh, and then he starts to open it and they just rip it out of his hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's addressed to him specifically under the stairs too. No stamp.
So funny.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know about in England, but here in America, it's a federal offense to open somebody else's mail.
Mm-hmm.
Is Vernon he just doesn't care?
He doesn't care.
Imagine having your one and only piece of mail snatched away from you.
Harry's used to it.
But the good thing is that Petunia is super embarrassed about them knowing that they make their child sleep in a cupboard.
It's true. So Vernon grabs the letter, reads it, almost vomits, shows the letter to Petunia, and while Dudley still is trying to grab it because Dudley wants to know what's on the letter for Harry, but Petunia's going to vomit as well. They're freaking out. Vernon throws both of the kids out of the room, shuts the door, locks it. And so they fight over who gets to listen through the doorknob and who gets to listen through the floor. Harry gets the floor listen, and so they're just there with their ears pressed. This is when Petunia's, like, real paranoia comes out, and she's like, are they watching the house?
I know,
they know where Harry sleeps.
This is where we enter Paranoia Island.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like, from here on out, she's like,
they know.
super
They're watching.
paranoid.
And Vernon's like, not only are they watching us, they've been spying on us all along. Should we write back? No. Let's ignore it.
Oh my gosh. And then that a-hole, Vernon, he burned to ashes Harry's letter.
Mm-hmm. He's like, NBD, Harry, they didn't actually mean to send it to you. It was a mistake. And Harry's like, it had my freaking cupboard on it, Vernon.
My cupboard. And then Vernon's like, speaking of cupboard, get all your stuff, go up to Durdley's. I hate his stupid name. Get all your stuff, go up to Wadley's second bedroom, and then Harry proceeds to describe, well, I guess the narrator, we get the layout of their house, and I got a little bit sick to my stomach when I learned that they have 4 bedrooms. All these years, I thought they had 3 bedrooms. I thought that Vernon and Petunia shared a bedroom, and then Dudley had his own, and then there was the second bedroom. No, they have 4 bedrooms. Mm-hmm. Petunia and Vernon share one. There's a guest bedroom. Nobody lives in it. There's Dudley's first bedroom where he sleeps, and then Dudley's second bedroom where he keeps all of his broken crap.
Yes, it's the toy cemetery.
Disgusting.
Room.
I absolutely despise the thought of using an entire room for one person's shit when there are other people in the house who could and should be having that space as a bedroom. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm really upset about this.
It's really infuriating. I mean, that guest bedroom, the only person who would even come and stay with them, Marge, she comes, once a year for, 4 days, maybe?
Oh my gosh.
It's empty 99.9% of the year.
It's so gross. It's so gross. And I know that we don't have to, convince our listeners that the Dursleys are horrible, but this is beyond horrible. To make somebody sleep in a literal closet when there's a bedroom upstairs that they could have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Harry grabs his glasses and his spiders and he goes upstairs.
One sock.
And he's sitting on his new bed and he's looking around and he's like, all these toys are broken, but there's a lot of brand new books in here, I guess. Dudley, of course, throws an absolute fit about Harry being in his extra room. I need that room.
Losing his mind.
That's my room.
Harry doesn't even want to be in that stupid junk room anyway. He's like, I'd rather go back down to the cupboard.
Yeah.
But no, the Dursleys, they're just embarrassed enough and just scared enough that they insist that he stays in that room. Mm-hmm. They won't let him go back to the cupboard.
Yeah, which Dudley is shocked. He's never thrown such a fit and not gotten his way in the end.
No, yeah.
He's throwing things, hitting things, but Petunia and Vernon stay strong with this decision.
So then, next day.
Yep.
Dudley has to go get the mail. He's yelling about it. He's very angry. Why don't we let Harry get it? No. He's very mad. Mm-hmm. There's another letter. Mm-hmm. Very funny.
Yes, now addressed to Harry Potter, the smallest bedroom, number 4 Privet Drive.
I want to know who's so funny at Hogwarts. I feel like the only one who could be this funny is McGonagall.
It's McGonagall, definitely.
She's so funny. She's been waiting all these years to do this. She just had this planned out. She wrote it down in her day planner, put a bookmark in it, closed it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Totally.
The smallest bedroom. And then there's a hilarious WrestleMania between the 3 boys.
Oh my gosh, WWE SmackDown happens in the living room. Vernon's wrestling the letter out of Dudley's little hands.
They're just piling and jumping and throwing and landing. And
Harry does the
swinging.
like get up on the couch and like slam down, body slam move.
Somebody grabs a chair and breaks it over Vernon's back.
Dudley, definitely.
It's so funny.
Petunia's just in the kitchen drinking her tea.
Scared, shaking a little. How did they know? That's the smallest bedroom. How did they know? But Harry has a plan.
Yes.
Too bad Vernon also had a plan.
I know. Harry's like, okay, I'm gonna wake up early in the morning. I'm gonna sneak out of the house. I'm gonna go sit on the corner of the road and wait for the mailman and get the letter before he even gets to our street.
Unfortunately, for some reason, Vernon had one brain cell, and he went and laid on the welcome mat.
It's now a welcome pillow because his head is directly in front of the door, and Harry luckily steps right on it.
I know, the good thing was that Harry stepped on Vernon's face, but the bad thing is Harry didn't get his mail yet.
That's true. He gets yelled at for 30 minutes. He has to make Vernon tea because Vernon is all of a dither. And when he goes back to give Vernon his tea, well, what would you know it? 3 letters for Harry. 3 letters. Vernon rips them up and takes the day off of work to board up the mail slot. And Petunia's like,
That's what she said.
Vernon, dear, that's not how mail works. But he's like, nope, this will do the trick.
The owls are so funny. They're hilarious. They're just shoving mail through every available crack.
Yes.
That's also what she said.
Any crack. Gotta shove.
And Aunt Petunia just keeps grabbing the letters that she's like to the point where she's making like letter salad.
Oh yeah, she's putting them in the food processor, blending them up for her hate smoothies.
That's what you get at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And some hate lemonade with your hate chicken.
So good.
Vernon, though, after Petunia blends all the ones that she needs for the week, he takes the rest of them and burns them.
Yes.
And continues boarding up every crack in the house. So now they just can't go out their door.
They're just stuck. They're stuck in the house, but that's better than getting creepy stalker letters. To them.
I guess.
I don't know. Vernon is just losing his mind. He is out of control.
Uh-huh.
Pulling out hair.
Yes.
Freaking out, screaming, sleeping on the floor, boarding up windows and doors and cracks.
Yep.
But finally.
The next day, letters come in with the eggs. Which the egg and milk delivery man has to give Petunia through their bathroom window, and he's like, here's your eggs, I suppose.
Letters in the eggs makes me so happy.
Yes.
Wrapped up with a bow.
Vernon calls and yells at the post office and the milkman. And Harry's like, who is so obsessed with me?
Oh my gosh.
They want to talk to me so bad.
It must be really important.
Finally, it's Sunday, though. Vernon's favorite day.
Why, Emily?
Well, there's no post on Sundays.
Famous last words.
And just then we get hella mail through the fireplace.
Most letters so far.
Millions of letters.
Whoever's doing this is the most hilarious.
They're so good.
I love it.
Vernon bodily throws Harry out of the room. Petunia and Dudley run out on their own. Vernon shuts the door, but all they can hear is letters, 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 letters.
Chick, 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 letters. I mean, they're just piling every piece of furniture, every flat surface covered.
Covered in letters.
I bet letters are going into, like, the picture frames.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, in the sofa cushions.
So these Dursleys, they're going on a road trip.
Yes, Vernon is finally run out of his fight. He's all about the flight now. Everyone, go pack a bag. Dudley, don't bring your VCR, TV, and computer. That's not going to happen.
Oh my gosh. So here we have it. Vernon, driving. Dudley, howling. Petunia, flinching. Harry, LOLing.
smiling
just
for
think
sure.
it's hilarious.
Yes.
And then they're in a hotel, and McGonagall knows it.
Yeah.
She knows they're in a hotel.
Yeah, after Vernon had spent the whole day, like, zooming down one road, U-turning, zooming back, taking another turn, just, like, gotta shake him off. Shake him off. Shake him off is all he's got. Stop at a hotel. Harry doesn't sleep that night. They eat the grossest breakfast I've ever heard, which is stale cornflakes and cold canned tomato toast.
No, listen, my dad loves a tomato toast.
A cold canned tomato toast?
Well,
or a fresh sliced tomato toast?
He likes a fresh sliced tomato toast, but I bet if he was British, it would be a cold canned tomato toast. Everybody from England is gonna hate me.
Sorry, your food's so gross sounding. I never tried it, but it doesn't sound
Although,
great to
listen
me.
to this story. I can tell this because my dad will never listen to this. When I was a kid, I was talking on the phone with one of my buddies, and it was the 80s, so I couldn't just, like, go in my room with the phone. It was in the kitchen connected to the wall. I could walk 3 feet away from it. So I'm on the phone, and my dad is making his tomato toast, which he takes the toast, he puts a tablespoon of butter on it, no kidding, and then he takes a slice of tomato and sticks that on it and then puts salt and pepper. And he's eating that, and I'm talking to my friend, blah, 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 and he grabs the spoon and he just takes a spoonful of butter and eats it, and I almost died, of course, because that's, like, really offensive.
To put it lightly.
He got so mad. I told my friend, I go, ew, my dad just ate a spoonful of butter, and he just reached over, click, hung up the phone.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, I was raised by Vernon Dursley.
That's really good. Oh,
Okay.
no. So they're at the breakfast, obviously, eating gross breakfast, and then the hotel dude comes over and he's like, I have 100 letters for a Harry Potter couch cushion
Classic.
hotel.
He's on the couch cushion, you guys are on the bed.
And Vernon's like, yes, I will take all of those letters, thank you. Petunia's like, probably we should just go home if we're getting letters at random hotel, but Vernon's like,
Nope.
no, we need another day of random driving.
Driving around like idiots, they're off again.
Daddy's gone mad, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yes, Wadley. Yes, he has. They finally pull off somewhere. Vernon locks the car, leaves everyone else in it, and goes in somewhere. And Dudley's complaining about how he's going to miss his TV show. My TV show. And Harry's like, Dudley always knows the days of the week. That must mean my birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah, guess what? Tomorrow's Harry's birthday.
Happy tomorrow birthday, Harry.
His 11th birthday. He doesn't have a good track record with birthdays, but I mean, a birthday's a birthday, and Harry's is tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure that Vernon has a gun.
Well, it's either a gun or a broom. It's hard to tell when those are wrapped up what they are, but it's long and it's thin.
Ew.
Do you think that Harry, for one split second, thought that maybe he received a gun at Hogwarts? And McGonagall was like, don't open it at the table. And he's like, this is a gun.
Yes, I've seen this before.
I know, what a long, thin,
Imagine
brown papered wrap packages.
poor Harry.
But Vernon comes back and he's like, I found the perfect place.
Okay. Tell me that this place was not specifically put there and designed and decorated and told to tell them to go there by McGonagall.
That's incredible.
Think
She's
of
like,
it.
oh, he stopped. Let me just magic up this house.
A shack, a literal shack.
Put a spell on this gun-selling man to tell them to go
Yes.
here. And then I'll know
The
exactly where to
gun-selling
send
man,
Hagrid.
the gun-selling man is a wizard.
Ah.
The guy at the dock with no teeth is a wizard.
Also a wizard.
All of these people are in on it.
And just been
McGonagall,
following down around Vernon. He's like, as soon as he
Yes!
stops, It's go time.
Honestly,
Action.
this is McGonagall's best day. She's never been happier. She's
Incredible.
like, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Hold on. She's just so happy. That's my headcanon.
I love it.
Okay.
100%. So McGonagall has concocted this tiny little shack on this tiny little island, and they give them the sketchiest boat to paddle
Yes.
for hours to get to this
Absolutely.
shack. She's like, we're gonna see just how far we can push Vernon. Like, as soon as he gets close, she's like, he's got another 30 minutes of rowing in him, moves it farther.
Yes.
He almost gets theirs again. Nah, longer. Push it out more.
100%. He's not asleep yet. He still has half of his mustache.
Look at him going.
And he's such an imbecile. He thinks that he can still get away from these letters.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, love it.
Vernon brought everybody a bag of chips and a banana for dinner.
I would just jump in the ocean. Die. That's my worst meal.
What bag of chips would you want, though?
Me, I would of course want Cool Ranch Doritos. Nothing's ever better than Cool Ranch Doritos, but you know he got plain Lay's.
See, I'm a salt and vinegar Lay's person.
I like a salt and vinegar, but he got plain. Yellow bag Lay's, the tiniest
Not even
one.
Ruffles.
No.
That's so sad for
He's
them.
such a jerk.
Yeah, so they eat. Vernon tries to make a fire with the chip bags, but it just smokes.
Because they're plastic. They're not made out of paper.
And he's like, could have used some of those letters now. Oh my heavens. But he's convinced no one in their right mind would get a letter all the way out here.
He does not think, he thinks he's safe. I adore what the wizards have done with the place.
I mean, they
Moldy
did leave
blankets.
moldy blankets.
Lumpy bed.
One bed,
Dirt
one
floor.
couch.
Perfect! Oh, and the storm? Everything. She thought of everything.
Oh my gosh.
The only storm is right there on that island. Everybody else is dry, sunny. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. So Petunia gets 9 out of 10 moldy blankets and puts them on the couch for Dudley. And then she gives Harry the smallest, moldiest blanket to sleep with. And so Harry just goes around on the floor, just like trying different patches, trying to find the softest part of the floor. Dudley falls asleep just fine. Harry, understandably, can't sleep at all.
No.
And is just watching Dudley's wrist clock count down to his birthday.
Wrist clock.
His watch.
No, it's a wrist clock. So, okay.
And then...
Yeah, sweet little baby Harry is just laying on the floor, looking at the wrist clock. It's my birthday.
He starts to hear like this weird noise outside, but he's like, we're on a sketchy shack.
It's the
fine.
ocean.
Probably rocks.
Nothing could possibly ever worse or better happen. When suddenly,
Boom!
boom!
Harry sits up and stares at the door.
Yes! Woo!
End of chapter.
Oh my gosh. Harry is surrounded by assholes. He doesn't have an anger issue. He has
Nope.
to sleep in a cupboard. He doesn't get his mail. He has to eat Lay's and bananas. It's not his fault.
What if you took... What if you took the Lay's and like crunched them up, and then you take your whole banana out and you just like roll it in the Lay's, so then you get like a crunchy banana roll?
Or, like you do when you're camping, you slice your banana and you kind of fold it up and you stick your Lay's inside.
Oh, yeah.
And then you, with the spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a spoon.
No spoons.
He'd have to just smush it up and then kind of drink it out of the banana
like a
peel.
Go-Gurt.
So,
A banana chip gurt.
this is the... I am really glad that we cleared some stuff up.
Yeah.
It's McGonagall being hilarious the entire time. Just doing everything she can do to make Vernon completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love everything about it. I'm very excited to see who's at that door.
Oh yeah, who could it be?
I cannot wait.
Such a loud boom.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Right.
So we will see you guys next week with chapter 4.
Yes, and thank you for joining us with chapter 3.
And
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
let's create something magical together.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Love it.